All right, you guys. So we are going to give you a crash course in marketing funnels. So what exactly is a marketing funnel? The funnel terminology is used pretty widely across industries and across different segments inside of those industries. And sometimes it's referred to as a marketing funnel. Sometimes it's referred to as a sales funnel. And really just kind of depends on the business you're running, but they all essentially mean exactly the same thing. So for our purposes, we're going to refer to it as a marketing funnel. And to break it down to just the absolute basics, it essentially just means the journey it takes a customer to purchase something from your website. So from point A to point B, the different steps, the different touch points, everything in between that it takes somebody from discovering your website, landing on your website, adding something to cart, adding their payment information, and completing that purchase is from top to bottom of our sales funnel. So there's a lot to be said about how many stages there are in a marketing funnel, and you can find a lot of information about them all over the internet. And as you saw on the last slide, we kind of had a little bit more of a built out thought process behind it. But for the purposes of our marketing and our paid media strategy, and Facebook and Instagram ads, it's really the best to go back to basics. So we use a simple 3-tiered approach, and we're going to break that down for you. So at the very top of the funnel, or you'll see this abbreviated for us as TOTF, also called prospecting or cold leads. So top of the funnel is generally thought of as people who most likely are brand new to your brand. You're utilizing ads to get in front of new customers, whether it's through lookalike audiences, which we discussed previously, but we'll break down a little bit more, or through interest or affinity audiences. These are new prospective customers. This stage of the funnel generally has a lower return and results in less conversions or purchases overall. But that being said, it's an extremely important and necessary part of your ad strategy and any marketing funnel. So don't necessarily look at the return strictly in your top of the funnel and really start to be discouraged. And also, don't look at that return and immediately turn that off when you compare that return to your middle of the funnel or your bottom of the funnel, where that return is really going to start to go through the roof. And we'll explain a little bit more as we go through. But the top of the funnel is key to the returns in the middle and the bottom of the funnel really going through the roof, because you're kind of it's a funnel concept for a reason. So you're putting more people in at the top at that kind of wide mouth, and then layering down, narrowing down to get more. So that being said, the next layer down in our 3-tiered marketing funnel is known as middle of the funnel. Again, we will abbreviate this throughout the course as MOTF. This stage is sometimes referred to as remarketing or retargeting, and is all about people who have already interacted with your brand. So this middle of the funnel is why we will spend so much time getting your ads account properly connected to your website and to your Instagram account, and making sure your pixel is all set up. Within our Facebook ad strategy, we use the middle of the funnel to target people such as individuals who have visited our website in the last 30 days, or people who have liked a photo on our Instagram in the last 60 days. The middle of the funnel is where the conversions and return really, really start to roll in, which I already mentioned. That being said, it's important to note that even though the return at the middle of the funnel will usually outweigh the returns at the top of the funnel substantially, once again, middle of the funnel cannot and should not exist without the top of the funnel. Without serving our ads to new and prospective customers, we're not filling this part, and eventually the middle of the funnel starts to be overserved, which basically means we're showing too many people these ads versus as you bring people in the top of the funnel, and we narrow it down, and we kind of keep a continuous loop of new people entering in at different phases of our funnel. So people start to get overserved, or simply not serving at all because they've left our funnel. So if we're using something like website visitors in the last 30 days, if we stop serving people at the top of the funnel, and they haven't been to our website in 30 days, they're no longer being served in the middle of the funnel either. So we'll get more into these as we continue throughout the course, but it's important to note that those two and also our bottom of the funnel really don't function without each other, which leads us right into the last and final step in our 3-tiered marketing funnel approach. You probably figured it out by now. It's called bottom of the funnel. Again, we sometimes abbreviate this as BOTF. These are individuals who have not only interacted with the business, but have basically made it to the last step of making a purchase, but not completed that purchase, and generally referred to as abandoned cart or cart abandoners, or something of that nature. Basically, people who have added something to cart and not completed their purchase, or maybe they've added their payment information and not fully completed the purchase. So there's a multitude of ways to get your brand back in front of these people. And for our purposes, we are really a big fan of Facebook's dynamic retargeting ads, which have gotten easier and easier over the years as Facebook has found more and more ways to integrate with Shopify. But the goal of the bottom funnel is basically to remind those people who made it within a couple of inches before the finish line that it's super easy to grab those items again and bring them home. And the dynamic retargeting ads work great because they will actually show those specific items directly to those people who abandoned the cart. So if somebody had, a gray t-shirt in their cart and they didn't make a purchase, inside of our Facebook dynamic retargeting ads, they're going to be served that same gray t-shirt as a reminder. Oh, hey, I already looked at this. I went to purchase it, and maybe they just forgot, closed their browser, whatever it looks like. But now we're making it even easier for them to make it through this final stage. So bottom of the funnel ads typically have a super low cost per acquisition and a very high return, but the same exact principles that we talked about with the middle of the funnel exist with the bottom of the funnel. So the bottom of the funnel it can exist without the middle of the funnel, but it's a funnel approach for a reason. So each one feeds into the next and shouldn't exist without the one above it. So don't, again, look at the bottom of the funnel and see a really high return and immediately say, well, why am I running top of the funnel when all of this money is coming in here? It's coming in there and at such high rates because you also have the top of the funnel running. So in all of this conversation, we also wanted to break down a little bit further and talk about the budget. So building campaigns and constructing our ads is great, but we also need to give kind of a brief breakdown on money. So when you've landed on your monthly advertising budget, you have to break it up between these various levels of your funnel. And there's some general kind of smart tips and tricks on how to do that. So with our description of each level of the funnel above and previously, and discussing where the returns are highest, it may sound really tempting to feed the majority of the budget into the middle and the bottom of your funnel. But once again, I want to keep reiterating that sending all of your money into the middle of the funnel and to the bottom of the funnel is not going to work in the long term. It will feel great on like a first hit and for a very short period of time, but it's not going to be a long-lasting strategy. So let's talk a little bit more about a stronger way to divide up that budget. So as you start to learn a little bit more about your audience, and navigate your budget breakdown a little bit more, but the recommendation for us to begin with is that you take 60% of that total budget, that's 60% of that total budget, and add it, and that goes into the top of the funnel. So it's more than 50%. You are going to spend more money trying to collect people at the top of the funnel. It's going to be a wider audience. Your frequency is going to be less, meaning people are seeing your ads less frequently, but more people are going to be seeing your ads and interacting with them and interacting with your website and your social media, sending them down into the middle and the bottom of the funnel. And then in the middle of the bottom of the funnel, we'll take our remaining 40% and divide it between the two, middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel, generally with a heavier emphasis on the middle of the funnel. So for instance, if we took $1,000 monthly budget, $600 of that is going into our top of the funnel. The other $400 of that is being divided between the middle and the bottom of the funnel. In this case, what I would probably say is, of that $400, I would take about 250 to 300 and put it into my middle of the funnel, and then the remaining 150, 100 to put into the bottom of the funnel to really complete out. So dividing your spend, your advertising spend budget up this way is going to ensure you're getting plenty of new customers in to see your business, filling the larger part of the funnel. And then as they get more familiar and more comfortable with your brand, continue serving them ads, to keep your brand top of mind. And we'll talk more about this as we go, about kind of the number of touch points that a customer might take to get, from point A to point purchase. And that is really, really in effect here. So we look at somebody who is served a top of the funnel ad, then goes to your website, then doesn't make a purchase, is served a middle of the funnel ad now because they've moved down. They're no longer brand new. They've not gone to the website. And now they're maybe served a middle of the funnel ad 2 or 3 times. And it's a little bit difficult to siphon out one particular user and figure that out. But you can kind of make general averages of, okay, our average frequency in this stage of the funnel is this many. Maybe it's a 3, and our frequency at the top of the funnel is a 1.5, and our frequency at the bottom of the funnel is, 2.5. And now I can kind of look and say, okay, it's generally taking about 6 touch points to get a person from the top of the funnel through the bottom of the funnel to make a purchase. And this is great information to understand, just like how much you need to be putting marketing in front of your particular customers through paid media, obviously, but also through email, through your organic social media and all these other platforms. But so to wrap it up, that's kind of our general budget conversation, and we're heading right into module 2 here. So we'll go through our step-by-step, creating your ad count, confirming everything's connected to your website, and then get you up and ready to go running ads.